Hello, guys.
English.
English.
Hola. Hi, we're Cesar and Pam with cesarandpam.com.
Grow your business without selling or losing your soul, your family, or your health in the process. And yeah, help me, Pam. This is
Don't
English.
sell your soul either.
Yeah. help me, because English sometimes I get a little confused with the language, but I'm going to do my best. I'll try to do my best. So, we, in the society that we live in today, we are always being told to push, to always be pushing, to always be achieving everything we want to achieve. And many times we are told to sacrifice things that are very important, and it's counterproductive because the very resources that God gave us to achieve the things that we feel we need to achieve, sometimes we don't take care of, such as our health. And the title of this live is called How to Feel Young Throughout Your Life. Up until, I can only talk until 52 years old.
56.
Because that's how old we are. But we're going to talk about why it's so important. We've talked about the different secrets, right? How to, the importance of drinking water, importance of sleeping. Speaking on the health aspect, we talk about business, but we also talk about parenting, marriage, finances, and health. It's a very important pillar in your life. And we talked about getting rid of junk food, eating healthy food, living food, and now we're going to talk about exercise. Why exercise? Dr. Colbert, in this book that we're reading, 7 Pillars of Health, said that after a conference that he gave someplace, a guy who came over and weighed over 450 pounds, looked like he told him he had some kind of infection, and now the infection was gone, but he was having trouble regaining his health. Just by looking at him, I could tell that he had reached a place of lymphatic stasis, stagnation, so extreme that his legs had blown up to a huge proportion. He was so full of toxins that his body was literally bulging with them. For many people, the most difficult part in the whole health equation is exercise. And we had a friend that said, "Man, I'd rather give birth than to exercise." Why is it so hard, honey, to exercise?
I think we look at it the wrong way. We live in a culture that's all about outward appearance. And so somebody's saying, exercise so you can have six-pack abs and you can have this and you can have that. And it looks so impossible for a lot of us. We're like, I don't want to do that. I don't care. I don't want that body. Or maybe we do, but we're like, I don't even think I could achieve it. And that's not the purpose. You know, I think if we knew the purpose, that's why I love the way this is going to start, because we've talked about water and how we are 2/3 of our body is water. Okay. And so this doctor says, you know, what do you think of when you see water that's not moving? Well, I immediately got a picture of where we just went on vacation to see my family, and I grew up going to a lake in Michigan, and it's a spring-fed lake, and so I love it. The water's clear, and it's so clean, you know, and it's alive. There's fish, there's life there. But behind our cottage, there's this like swampy area, and it's covered with algae, and it's no movement. Ugh. And you just think, I mean, yuck, you don't want that water. That's not like fresh living water. If you see a pond that doesn't move, or even a mud puddle, you know, you just think, it gets mosquito larvae and yucky things grow there. And that's the way it is with our bodies, but we don't think about it like that. We're just thinking, we have to exercise because we have to look a certain way. No, you want to feel better. Your body, all that water needs to move inside of you.
So God made us to move, basically,
not
to be sedentary, stuck in one place. And you were talking about how some people say, hey, the Bible doesn't talk about exercise.
Yeah, well, you think about it. Nobody had to think about it before because their lives were not sedentary. I mean, life was just work. And you walked everywhere. In the Bible, you think Jesus, he went walking from town to town, like that was like marathons, you know, walking all day long. That was part of the culture. That was part of life. Women, you know, they had to wash their clothes by hand. I mean, think about the muscles that you're getting, you know, scrubbing clothes and hanging them up to dry, not just going from the washing machine to the dryer. everything was harder, and it was exercise, and that was just part of life. It was movement. And now we have to kind of think about it and make it part of our lives. And that, I think that is, in one sense, harder, but what a trade-off. I mean, do you still want to wash your clothes by hand? Or do you want to be thankful you have the washer and dryer, but now you got to get out and maybe do some push-ups?
Yeah, my dad in Mexico used to tell me that if you're wealthy is when you decide when to sweat. And we have actually the choice. And the author, he says that looking at the lifestyle of somebody who lived during the times of the Bible, of times of Jesus walked at least 18,000 miles just on 3 annual pilgrimages from Galilee to Jerusalem. Adding up the total miles Jesus walked during his lifetime would be at least 21,595 miles, which is a distance around the world at the equator, which is 24,900.
Wow, he walked around the world.
I mean, that's a good. I think God made us to be able to move, right? And we've designed a society nowadays, especially in the U.S., where we don't have to move. I remember going to Europe, and one thing that was so encouraging to me is that you didn't see a lot of fat people. You see a lot of older people, like a grandma on her bike, that here would be considered, oh, it's too dangerous. But she was used to moving throughout her whole life.
Yeah.
So today we have to redesign our lives, our lifestyles, so that we can move every day.
Yeah, unfortunately now we have to add it into our schedule, so a lot of people just never do, and they push it out of their schedule. But I think if we looked at it the right way, that's what we're designed to do. That's what makes our bodies work correctly. And we're going to talk about all the things that happen when we don't move those waters, when we're not stirring it up. It's like a car, If you, who was the guy that he had this like super cool car, and he hardly ever used it, and so he'd take it out maybe once a week for a drive, and he went to the mechanic. He's like, it's just not running right, and the guy's like, this thing is made to run, and you're not running it enough, and so it's not working at its maximum efficiency because it's not having to. And I think that's the same with us.
Yes, that's right. So benefits of exercise, right? Number 1, prevents cancer. Studies show that approximately 1/3 of cancer deaths can be linked to diet and sedentary lifestyles. Breast, colon, prostate cancer. In 2005, the National Cancer Institute reported that physical activity at work or during leisure time is linked to a 50% lower risk of getting colon cancer. A study published in the Journal of the American Medical Association found that women who engaged in the equivalent of a brisk walking for 1 to 2 hours per week decreased the risk of breast cancer by 18% compared to inactive women. Heart disease is another one. Did you know that your heart, this is so fascinating about the heart, your heart pumps throughout your whole life, never stops until you die. The only time it rests is in between beats, right? An active person's heart usually beats about 60 to 70 times per minute. An inactive person's heart usually beats 80 times per minute. That's like putting 33% more miles on your car every time you drive it. So you actually might live 33% longer and healthier if you move.
Yeah, I was taking classes and we would monitor our heart rate the whole time, and I noticed the people that were in better shape, and for me, it's been pretty good shape. You had to work harder to get to what the different, they wanted you to get into the red zone, which was the sprint zone. And you're like, I'm pushing it as hard as I can to get there. And somebody would come and join the class for the first time, and they're like, 10 minutes in the red zone. Well, it was because they weren't in condition, right? Yeah. So they could hit that zone faster. Their heart was working so hard.
So oxygen is life, and the heart gets more life in between beats. That's important because cardiovascular disease is the most common cause of death in the United States. So all kinds of studies show that moderate regular exercise is the single most important deterrent of heart-related problems. I was reading here about if you have a coronary artery disease, regular exercise will even encourage your body to create collateral arteries, which may form a natural bypass around clogged arteries. And it's free. It can be free. Maybe you want to pay for a membership or something, but it takes time mostly and takes effort from your part. And
we're not talking about going to the gym 2 hours a day.
yeah, our message is to help those people that have not exercised ever or who exercise very little, and we want to help you get on a routine where it becomes part of your lifestyle.
Yeah.
Okay.
I love this next part. You want to talk about it?
Yeah, please.
Okay, so we have our lymphatic system, which is cleansing our body of toxins. So you can think if you don't